The One and Only Ivan, Friday, March 20th. Mad human. A mad gorilla is loud, but a mad human can be loud too, especially when he is throwing chairs and turning over tables and breaking the cotton candy machine. Phone call. Mac is kicking a trash can across the food court when the phone rings. Ring! He answers it, red-faced and sweating. "What the?" he demands. He glares at me. "I don't know what he starts to say, but then he stops. "Who? Julia who?" he asks. "Oh, sure, George's kid. She's the one who called you." More talking. With the phone to his ear, Mac comes closer to my cage, eyeing me. Yeah, he says. He paints, sure. We've been selling his art for quite a while now. There's another long pause. Yeah, absolutely. It was my idea. Mac nods his head. A smile starts at his corners of his mouth. Photos? No problem. You want to see them in action? Come on down, have a look. We're open 365 days a year. Can't miss us. We're right off I-95. Mac picks up the overturned trash can that he kicked. Yeah, I think he'll be adding more pictures. It's, what do you call it? A work in progress? When the call is done, Mac shakes his head. Impossible, he says. An hour later, a man with a camera comes to take my picture. He is from the local paper, the one Julia called. How about you take one of me and the elephant? Mac suggests. He drapes his arm around Ruby's neck, grinning as the camera clicks. Perfect, the man says. Perfect, Mac agrees. A star again. A photo of my billboard is in the newspaper. Mac tapes the story onto my window. Each day, more curious people arrive. They park in front of the billboard. They point and shake their heads. They take photos. Then they come into the mall and buy my paintings. While visitors watch, I dip my hands in fresh buckets of paint. I make pictures for the gift shop and pictures to add to the billboard. Trees with birds, a newborn elephant with glittery black eyes, a squirrel, a bluebird, a worm. I even paint Bob so he can be on the billboard too. I can tell he likes the picture, although he says I didn't quite capture his distinguished nose. Every afternoon, Mac and George add my new pictures to the billboard. People slow their cars while they work. Drivers honk and wave. My gift shop pictures now cost $65 with a frame. The Ape Artist. I have new names. People call me the Ape Artist. I have visitors from morning till night, and so does Ruby. But nothing's changed for her. Every day, 2, 4, and 7, Ruby plods through the sawdust with Snickers on her back. Every night, she has bad dreams. Bob, I say, after I've soothed Ruby back to sleep with a story, my idea isn't working. Bob opens one eye. Be patient. I'm tired of being patient, I say. This evening, a man and a woman come to interview Mac, and also George and Julia. The man has a large and heavy camera perched on his shoulder. He films me as I make my pictures. He films Ruby in her cage, with her foot roped to the bolt in the floor. Mind if I take a look around? He asks. Mac waves his hand. Be my guest. While Mac and the woman talk, the cameraman walks through the mall. He pans his camera right and left and up and down. When his eyes fall on the claw stick, he stops. He trains his camera on the gleaming blade. Then he moves on. The early news. Mac turns on the TV. We are on the early news at 5 o'clock. Bob says, don't let it go to my head. There we all are, Mac, Ruby, me, George and Julia, the billboard, the mall, the ring, and the claw stick. In the morning, several people gather in the parking lot. They're carrying signs and sticks. The signs have words and pictures on them. One has a drawing of a gorilla cradling a baby elephant. I wish I could read. Protesters. More people with signs come today. They want Ruby to be free. Some of them even want Mac to shut down the mall. Thank you for listening today. On Monday, I will continue reading The One and Only Ivan, and we're going to find out if the mall gets shut down or if the mall gets to stay open, and if Ivan and Ruby and Bob actually get to be free someday. Have a great rest of your day. Mrs. Bartz misses you.